So my name is Billy, and I am one of the founding member of the Blue Vipers of Brooklyn, a New York City swing band that's been around since, I guess, 03, 04, somewhere along those lines. So yeah, we've been at it for a while, and it was kind of crazy being in Central Park today. I mean, it's sort of, for us, it's all about getting in touch with our roots today. This is really where we got started in New York City, playing in Central Park many, many moons ago. Yeah, I would honestly say this is the most I've sung and probably played banjo or guitar or anything for, wow, since March, since the quarantine started, since what some of my friends are referring to as Red Thursday. I think that was March 12th. That's when I also work as a tour guide, and that's when our whole industry just went kerplooey. So yeah. Time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? You'll find your fortune falling all over town. Be sure your umbrella is upside down. Trade them in for packages of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, oh baby, you must take showers. So when you hear it thunder, boom, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and for me. Let it from heaven, yeah. Contains pennies from right down. Oh, trade them in for packages of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you, and pennies from heaven for you and me. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you hear, please remember we do have a big tip jar. No waiting. Awesome. Thank you very much. We're going to play another hot tune for y'all. Well, how did the band start? Well, in the beginning, you heard this one before? Yeah. No, in the beginning, I came here in 01, and the first person I really played with was Tom Abbott. I haven't played with him for a while. And I was living in New Orleans, and you know, it's 2001, and about a month after 9/11, I met this girl in New Orleans who said, "You want to go to New York?" I was 24 years old, and I said, "Okay, sure." And so I was walking through Washington Square Park, and I saw somebody playing saxophone, and I said, "Give me 5 seconds. I'm going to go grab my guitar." I had this place over on St. Mark's with this girl, right? So I ran back over there, and we started playing together. Went back to New Orleans, bounced in and out for a few years, but kind of stayed in touch. And I think it was about 04, 05 when I finally just said, look, I want to stay in New York and make New York work. The band has gone through a few incarnations, to say the least. But yeah, I would say the band kind of started 01, 04. And in all honesty, the real purpose of the band was, the way that it started, was the fact that I was playing on the streets in New Orleans, and I wanted to play on the streets in New York. I just wanted to find people who I could, you know, have a band out here with. This is it. This is my element, honestly. Or at least it was for a long time. I think when I came to New York, a lot of people looked at playing on the street, and they were like, "You want to go play on the street? I can't believe it." Da, da, da. And then they realized that this could actually be pretty lucrative. And back before 2008, it really was. So, but by the time that had all hit, we had sort of established ourselves on like the swing dance scene and the wedding scene and all that kind of thing. So, our name? We're the Blue Vipers of Brooklyn. Awesome. No, really, you can look that up. We got a website and stuff. We're like legit. Yeah. We used to play weddings. We still do. It's cool. All right. Tiger Rat, bring us in, guys. I'm going to bring the tip jar kind of like around there. What key again? Starts on B flat. Ready? 1, 2. 1, 2. Snap, beat, do. about a big hand for our bass player, the one and only George Rush?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was semi-homeless for most of the time I was in New Orleans, but I learned a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, that's where I really learned this repertoire. It was either by playing with different people or by listening to as many different people as I could. And I still have a lot of good friends down there. I always felt like there were more opportunities here. And I always felt like there was this really cool culture here that I really loved. I fell in love with this city. It certainly didn't work out with her, but I fell absolutely head over heels in love with this city. And I still am. I mean, even though I'm not as much of a full-time musician as I used to be, if anything is evidence of the fact that I love this city, my other job is, you know, back when tourists are coming here, I'm a tour guide. I basically walk around with people and tell them how excited I am about the place I live. That's my gig, you know? So it's not so much of like a why did I come here with this like sparkle in my eye, but after almost 20 years here, I can honestly say that I am still completely infatuated with this place for so many reasons. Thank you very much. Grab your coat and get your hat B-flat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to that sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter pat? That's a happy tune, honey baby, ain't that your step said? Life can be so sweet, sweet, on that sunny side of the street. I used to walk in that shade with my blues on parade. I ain't afraid this rover crossed over. I never ever said I'll be rich like Originaly or gold dust at my feet on that sunny, sunny side of the street. Go ahead. started singing because, my parents were devout Catholic, and we went to this tiny little country church. I grew up in Nebraska. And it's on a farm, like kind of in the middle of nowhere, and country church, and this is a true story, where we went to church, there was still an outhouse. That's no joke. And my mom's gonna watch this, and she's gonna be like, "Yeah, that's true." And my grandparents sang in the choir, so as soon as I was old enough to read, I was old enough to be in the choir. Because they knew I could sing before then, so if I could read words in a book and sing those words, then I was in the choir. So that's kind of how it started. I learned a little bit of piano to start with. I think when I was about 12, I played a little guitar, but then when I was 16, I broke my leg. Didn't have anything to do other than sit and play guitar. So yeah, it's really kind of been a lifelong thing.
So how'd you get into jazz then?
Oh, I was living in New Orleans, and it was a survival tactic. I'll be straight up. I'm not gonna joke about that.
So how'd you end up in New Orleans?
Well, so when I was 19 years old, when I was 18, I hitchhiked around the U.S. for about a few months. And then when I was 19, I decided to join a carnival. So I wound up in New Orleans after being a carny for a summer, and decided I was gonna hang out. And I knew a few Bob Dylan songs, so I was like, okay, cool. And then I realized that was inadequate to do anything in New Orleans, but I still just kind of kept coming back, right? I was a real glutton for punishment, and so I would kind of watch these bands and listen to what they did. And there was some kind of hippie folky bands, and I was like, okay, maybe I can just do this. And I'd learn a little bit of a repertoire from those guys, right? But then I started to realize, I watched these guys who were playing the blues, right? Who were playing blues music. And I was like, you know what? Those guys eat every day, from the looks of it. So if I can learn a little bit of that repertoire, I'll be able to eat every day. And it didn't really work out that way. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna get them out of here, right? And I would bail and I'd go somewhere else, but I'd listen to that repertoire. And I'd just practice and practice and practice. Then I'd go back to New Orleans again. I'd just completely get my ass kicked by the city. And I was like, okay, maybe if I can learn these Sam Cooke tunes, I'll be able to eat every day in New Orleans. Maybe I'll even have a place one day. That kind of thing. As opposed to whatever it was I was doing. I slept in this school bus owned by these two jugglers for a while. That was insane. And so I'm doing that, and it's okay. It didn't really work out, so I would take off again, but I'd study the repertoire, I'd study and study and study and study. Then I'd come back, and finally I saw the jazz guys. I was you know what? These guys eat more consistently than anybody. Some of them are even fat if they ain't smoking crack. And so if I can learn that music, then I'll be okay. And I just kept at it and kept at it and kept at it. I came and I went, and I came and I went, and I came and I went. And finally I got tired of getting my ass kicked by that city so much, and I just stayed away. But I had this whole repertoire that was a survival tactic that I had picked up over 4 or 5 years.
y'all very much.
In all honesty, like today, just like hanging out on this bench and playing in the park was pretty cool, to say the least. Yeah, this is great. This is my element. For a long time, this was my element. And if I could just like play the street and hang out and just play my friends' weddings, that'd be rad. But